Hello and welcome to our second webinar in the series of Designing Healthy Spaces post COVID-19. Today, our focus is going to be on institutional and office spaces. So, I welcome you all to this second webinar. I'm Nishant Goyal, representing Novarch Architects and Engineers. So let's start with some of the interesting feedback that we received after the first webinar. And we are very thankful for the lovely comments, suggestions, and advice that we received from all quarters. So please do reach us again uh, at the link mentioned on the slide and send in your valuable feedback because it's really important to us and it helps enable us to enrich our further sessions on this topic. So coming to this topic, how will the built infrastructure, especially the offices and workplaces, respond to COVID-19? We had highlighted some strategies in the last session, which were safety, security, hygiene, healthy buildings, and economic growth. So in this session, we're going to do a deep dive into some of the projects that we are actually implementing these strategies in. And the case study one is a 1,000 square meter plot, a corporate office building that we are designing in Noida. It is under construction. So the examples that I give from case study one will be of some changes that we have brought about in the design in the last 1 month to this project to enable it to be COVID ready. The case study two is a project in Gujarat, a much larger 7-acre plot with a total built up area of 2.5 lakh square feet, out of which the office space is 50,000 square feet. And this in this project, we'll be showcasing a lot of the retrofit design interventions that we are proposing. So the first point was safety and security. And so how will our office spaces respond to the increased or newer methods of safety and security that will be needed? We talked about thermal screening along with the CCTV monitoring and the metal detection system, as well as the need for making isolation rooms. So in our projects, what we're doing now is that we are incorporating these buffer zones at all the entrances, and within the buffer zones there is a proper thermal screening along with the metal detection and other security screening that is already happening. We are also planning isolation rooms near these buffer zones so that if there is any suspected person who seems to be contaminated, then he can be housed in a proper secure environment till the doctor on call comes and attends to him and prescribes further action. The next point, which is again a very important parameter, is hygiene and enabling our office spaces to be ready for the new hygiene that we're now seeing. Social distancing, sanitization station, touchless equipment. So this image on the right that you're seeing is showing that what we are all getting into right now is reducing our workforce in the space such that we remove maybe one or two workstations between two active workstations. But this is leading to like a 30 to 40% effective workforce in our spaces, and ultimately we'll end up leasing out more space to complete our workforce requirement, which will be again further overheads and cost overruns for the company. So how do we look at that? How do we look at better efficient uh, layouts while maintaining these social distancing norms of 6 feet? Then a lot of touchless equipments are being incorporated in our projects. We are also making a common dashboard from which you can monitor all these equipments, uh, so that there is a proper reporting and a mechanism to track these equipments. So how are we implementing social distancing in our projects? In the case study one, you'll see that we've actually managed to fit in 26 people instead of the 30 that were proposed earlier. So it's like an 85% efficiency, even though we are maintaining all social distancing norms. So we've tweaked the workstation clusters such that they are staggered. Plus, there is a new element of a storage with planter on top that has been added to the cluster in order to maintain the social distancing. And we'll see how these planters are actually helping in the indoor air quality also later in the presentation. In the other case study, you were seeing that this was a much larger project. It had 130 people, 160 people earlier, and we've now been able to plan 136 people in this workspace. So again, we are achieving an efficiency of 85% from what it was earlier. Add to this, we've got sanitization stations in all the meeting rooms, the common areas, etc. We've got touchless equipments for the lifts, for the wash basins, for the drinking stations, as well as for printers and things like that. Antiviral fittings are being proposed for the hardware and other things which used to be stainless steel, and you know uh, so that we get better hygiene in our office space. Then, along with this, we are urging all our clients to develop very good SOPs for cleaning schedules, and so that there is a continuous sanitization, cleanliness observed in the office, waste management. So uh, we're all segregating waste. I mean, but how do we actually reuse a lot of the waste within the campus? And then what are the best ways to dispose of the waste such that it doesn't contaminate others, it doesn't become a carrier for this contamination. And then awareness programs, please start doing weekly drills, um, change your signages so that they create awareness within your within your teams about the new hygiene and safety security. Then healthy buildings. So health, the world is now shifting towards a healthier lifestyle. Health is going to be an intrinsic part of all our not just design but our way of life. And the first parameter is air. Uh, there are very clear cut guidelines by ISHRAE and ASHRAE about the indoor air quality. And at Novarch, we're very particular that in all our buildings going forward, we should have ISHRAE Class A guidelines followed for indoor air quality, the even when the pollution levels are as high as 300 AQI, 400 AQI, what we experience just after Diwali and the month after Diwali. So how do we achieve that? Is a big question. So we've been doing a lot of experiments on this in the past year or so, and we've been practicing a lot of biophilic designs. So last few years we've been ensuring that a lot of our projects have a very high quotient of nature in them. And the other thing is regarding the HVAC system and experimenting with things in HVAC system. Now, the slide here actually just gives you just defines the size of the coronavirus that we're looking at. So, coronavirus is a zero point 0.1 micron size, whereas your red blood cell is a 7 micron, and this is the PM10. So, you can actually see the you know that the coronavirus is a very minute particle that we're dealing with, and it becomes all the more difficult to filter this out in your air systems. So biophilic design, this is the case study too, where we've actually implemented an entire green walk between the three buildings in this project, and this green walk enables people to experience nature, to get in touch with nature, where they can come out, they can sit and work here, they can take a stroll, and just leads to a healthier workforce and healthier lifestyle for the team. And then we come to the second aspect of indoor air quality. here we look at two major things. The first and foremost, of course, is the HVAC system. The major pollutants tend to be the PM 2.5, the volatile organic compounds, and the toxic chemicals and carbon dioxide, which are now we are encountering another one, which is the biocontaminants. And how we are tackling this is by better filtration in our fresh air systems. But first and foremost, I mean, everyone needs to start installing treated fresh air units. Please please ensure that you have good amount of treated fresh air in your premise. ISHRE has specified it at 5 CFM per person, but it could be higher. uh, and then you can have good quality MERV 14 or higher filters. You could put UV lamps in your AHUs to because they have a proven record of killing this virus. And a step further, you can even do ozone chambers if there is if which we've been using for cold storages and things like that till now. But these ozone chambers are very effective way of killing um, tiny virus, etc. Then the image on the left is from a study which was published by NASA, and you'll be surprised to see that indoor plants have an excellent quality of purifying air. And there's, I mean, by using the right number of plants and designing them within your layout, you can actually achieve air quality naturally through plants. So we've been doing a lot of it in our projects. The case study one shows you that we've actually planned about 200 plants in this workflow of 26 people. So you typically need about 6 to 7 plants per person in the space for it to have effective air quality. We use a lot of Erica palm and money plant in our projects. You can also use the snake plant. And so in the other project, in the case study two, you're seeing, which is a much larger floor plate of about 130 people, we've planned to retrofit it with approximately 700 plants here as well. So plants are a major factor in that we use as a tool to design interior spaces. Then water, please recycle water. We've been doing a lot of experiments in our projects, like you see a natural biodigester recipe here, where the water goes through the series of these tanks, and then it passes through Typha reed plants, so that we can clean water naturally. Um, in the case study two, we've designed the landscape such that it incorporates a grass swale, so that it effectively collects the water, and this water is then gradually recharged into the ground, so that the groundwater table becomes better in the area. Then food and energy. I mean, we food is something that all our projects should now look at very carefully, because we need to grow our own food and grow healthy food which is chemical free. And energy, of course, we need to there's so many methods by which we can control the usage of or lower down the energy usage of our projects. So how are we managing it? So the case study one, it shows you that the cafeteria floor is going to have lunch cooked for 150 people every day. And from our earlier project, the photographs of which you see on the right, there we've seen that based on the calculations of the produce from that projects, we've realized that we need to grow about 25 kg of vegetable per day to feed 150 people for lunch. So in this project, we've designed a total planter length of about 1500 running feet, plus approximately 100 feet of hydroponic tray type system, the images of which you see here from a project in Japan where they're growing food in an office. So our aim here is to provide clean, healthy, organic, chemical-free, pesticide-free food for all the employees of the office during lunch, so that and once they get inspired, they can spark a movement to go home, speak to their friends and family in the society, and maybe spark a revolution where we all start growing our own clean food. Energy. Again, in case study one, you'll see that we've incorporated a lot of solar panels in the building elevation, such that they work as shading devices as well as uh, generate clean energy. So in this project, we are saving approximately 380 megawatts of electricity per year, coupled with approximately 250 tons of carbon emissions and around 6,000 kiloliters of water per year. Um, which actually we are achieving 50% energy efficiency and around 40% water efficiency. In the case study 2 project, which has already been commissioned, um, we've achieved 45% energy efficiency and 42% water efficiency, um, as well as around 400 tons of carbon dioxide emissions reductions per year by simple methods, like reducing wall window ratios, designing as per the sun path movement, the climate, ensuring shading devices, um, using clean solar energy, good efficient air conditioning system, low E glass, and energy efficient fans um, inside the workspace. So, and then economic growth. So we talked about this last time about how our build spaces have to contribute towards economic growth because that's what they are built for. Uh, so all our office buildings need to contribute and become revenue generators. So every penny saved is a penny earned. And if you see in both the case studies that we put forth, we're saving approximately 30 lakhs in one case study and 45 lakhs in the other case study of actual cost saving every year. We now, plus with healthy buildings, you get a better productive workforce because healthy buildings lead to healthier people and their productivity increases. And then, how do you actually use your built infrastructure to help define your brand image and attract the right kind of clients, the right kind of business? Because the world is now looking at India as a long-term solution to the problems posed by China, and it's time to portray and project uh, and showcase that we are all a sensitive, healthy, safe, and secure company to work with. So uh, let's drive a change. I wish to leave you with this message because most of the people listening to this webinar are business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs, who are decision makers in their company, and you interact with your industry mates, your industry houses. So let's drive a change. Let's spread the word that we want to be safe, secure, and healthy. Let's even campaign for government to bring in policy changes. For example, in our field, it would be great if the government makes it mandatory as part of building sanction and completion documents. We have to showcase an X amount of energy reduction, proper safety, as well as hygiene methods that we're adopting in the design, so that it becomes ingrained in our DNA and everyone can follow it. So we as a firm would be happy to collaborate if you want to rope us in for any knowledge sharing sessions, webinars, or design discussions where we can help bring about change in the perspective through better spaces that we design. So thank you very much. I hope you like the webinar. Please do post your feedback, your comments, your queries on the link shown in your screen. And thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.